Interviewing anyone. I'm just doing a cinema verite, as they say. You don't always know if these things come out anyway. They're whatever's the right word.
You seem to enjoy wasting your sustenance, or whatever you call it.
It's a toy, isn't it? You know, you've only had it. My father bought it for a holiday event with my niece for her to use, and when they finished the holiday, it got passed on to me, and I use it intermittently until a tape runs out. When the tape finishes, I then don't use it until I go and buy another tape.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So I can use it. So I use it quite intermittently, really.
It seems a very wasteful way of living.
It's like taking photographs. I go through periods when I take lots of photographs, and then periods when I take none at all. And that, you know, it's a mood thing. How you feel. You know, a lot of people use it for doing their. I mean, I did it at Christmas. Last time I had that was at Christmas, opening presents, the children opening their presents. So that was Christmas Day. Tape finished. My aunt takes them. She came on the Sunday, which is 10 days ago. And you know, I've now gone and got another video. It's actually quite good for interviewing people. And
you have to have a special video playback machine, don't you? Because those don't go into a video machine, do they?
They do actually. Yeah, you get a wire. You get a
wouldn't go
wire.
into my video machine.
You have a wire and you can do it from the camera, into the machine.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't transfer it onto a VHS in any way?
I haven't done it yet, but you should do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you can actually do it from you can do it also with the camera. You can actually stop it, play it back, and you can look in the camera to see exactly what it is.
That's too miraculous for me to understand.
Is it? No, well, I'm most impractical, thank you. Very impractical person. So tell us how your Christmas was, Dennis.
No, I don't believe in Christmas. Christmas is for people with families and children, not for people like me who are single.
Well, how did you spend the time then?
Waiting for it to get a shot of it.
Did you watch any films on the TV? Or?
Some, but not many. I was just getting stuff out from my own collection to look at, really. So little on. I mean, like this week, there's not one film in this week's Radio Times I want to see. All the modern films I don't want to see, and there aren't any old films. There's not one black and white film on, I don't think, next week. It's outrageous. Mind you, today and Monday were two very rare Mitzi Gaynor musicals which I'm taping.
I watched the British Mitzi Gaynor one.
Yeah. The first one was very interesting because George Jessel starred in it.
Was that George Jessel?
He produced it, yeah, and he played himself in it, making the film about Eva Tangway.
I didn't realise that was George Jessel.
Oh yeah, he said it was.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. That's when he became a producer at 20th Century Fox. He made about 10 musicals for them, all to do with old variety stars, vaudeville stars, I think it's very strange. I've never read an article about him in my life about his film career. Yeah, he's a major producer.
He wasn't young though, was he?
No, I don't know whose idea it was to take him on. Very, very weird. I'd love to know that story. There are lots of in-jokes about it. I mean, you get rushing off to see Daryl Zanuck throughout the film.
Did he make any other films as an actor? Jessel.
Oh yeah. When he made the second Talkie. The first Talkie he was supposed to make, and he turned it down hoping for more money, and they just gave it to Jolson instead.
I wonder if I've seen that, if they showed that in Italy the other year.
He sings My Mother's Eyes all the way through it. He sings it about 10 times. So I must have seen it somewhere to know that. So I can see him now singing My Mother's Eyes. That told me wrong from right. He sounds just like Jolson. But he was a bigger star than Jolson at one time.
They're showing Hallelujah, I'm a Bum in the this month.
Oh, I haven't seen that for many years.
Jolson's in that. I've seen it before, but maybe only once or twice.
You know, it was called Hallelujah, I'm a Tramp in England.
That's what it is. What did I say? Hallelujah, I'm a Bum. Oh, I made a mistake, I think.
That's the American title.
Was that right? Oh. And you didn't go on Monday to see the film that David saw?
I don't go to NFT. I can't stay awake after 7 o'clock at night, you see. I'm probably not going to renew my membership now. I should just renew my library membership.
But aren't you going to see the animation one on Momi, the one on Ken Clark doing one on Cafe Animation?
Oh, is he? Well, I don't know. It starts at 7:30 or something. I can't go. I just sleep for it.
They're doing Popeye tonight.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that in the booklet.
It is in the booklet. That's My Song for You, the film, Morris Elby film, which David saw on Monday.
I don't think I've seen that. So many of these Anglo
I haven't seen it, no. The one next week was is the Schmidt one that we saw. Do you remember the Schmidt one we saw the other?
Yeah.
Well, that's on next week. I didn't like that at all, really. I thought the Schmidt one was a poor film. About Popeye then?
It's on sale here. This strange semi-pirated edition that I never got paid for from Australia. It's on sale along Charing Cross Road for about $4.99. That was about 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Just like one of these bastard publishers.
Do you get paid for the English one though?
Yeah, but not much. We sold the rights abroad, you see, without telling anyone. It's nice, isn't it?
You're very unlucky with publishers, aren't you?
I am. I was lucky for the first 50 years, but then not. Oh, and there's a book. I think it's really. I must have missed this page.
That's the most interesting page of the book normally.
Yeah, I was hoping to do this one on Cafe and talk to somebody about this one. I must try and see that one.
Do you know Ken Clark at all?
Yeah. Not a man I like.
I don't know him. I saw him once, but he was
He's been 30 years writing his history book animation, and he's still not been published. He's still writing it. Pocket boxers.
When he was at Leicester, some of the things he was saying, he mentioned acres of Merbourne Cooper, other things. I mean, was not substantiated by what he said.
No. See, if I go at 7:30, it's just impossible for me because I mean it doesn't finish till 9:30 to 10, and then I've got an hour at least to get home. I can't survive, you see.
Did you have a cab to take you home?
No, I can't. I would have fallen asleep in the cinema. So I can't rearrange my
Body clock.
body clock. Yeah. Well, nice of you to understand. It's silly. But it's a pity to miss some of these things, which have been things I would have liked to have done, or things I've always wanted to see.
But if you were doing one at the moment in the evening, would you be all right then, if you were actually doing the tour?
I don't know.
You've done some, haven't you?
Yeah, I have done some, but I don't know that. See, when I do something like that, I can pluck up the energy out of nowhere, like all sort of people with the show business attitude, you know, like old variety stars who go on the stage when they're 80 odd and do some marvellous show and then collapse. It's like that, you know, you take from the audience, you take you know, the massed enthusiasm of the audience, feed you.
Did you watch the Tommy Cooper thing at all? Again, it was repeat.
No, I didn't watch it again, no.
I don't think I'd seen it the first time round, actually.
I've been quite a few programmes on him over the years.
Yeah, I wish that someone would find. The thing I remember about Tommy Cooper in the 50s, was it? Maybe it was 60s. Was it about 1960? Was doing an advert for South African fruits.
Really?
You know, the advert. And that's the time when they were boycotting South African fruit, and he was in the advert buy South African bananas and oranges and stuff. And that was a big time when there was a big boycott. Do you remember? You remember that boycott South African food because of apartheid?
Well, I kind of remember.
Well, he made a promotional film shown it on television, advertising fruit.
Really?
Yeah, it stays in my mind. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, only a short 30-second effort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not turned up in any of these programmes, but it must be around somewhere. Probably Thompson's has still got it in their archive.
I've got some tapes, I don't know quite where I got them from, of old commercials. I've got 2 3-hour tapes of old commercials from J. Walter Thompson, which probably was in the days when I was working in television, you know, and probably got them as viewing for clips or something. But they're all in lovely chronological order of certain types that were done in a series. And the first one was so marvellous, it's Joan and Leslie, do you remember them? Leslie Randall and Joan Reynolds, husband and wife. And they were from virtually the first day of ITV. But they used to have their own show, a quarter of an hour sitcom.
I used to like them.
Oh, they were lovely.
And then
She was ever so sweet.
They disappeared. I mean, they went to Australia or something like that, didn't they? Or...
They divorced, I think. That's the real problem.
What happened?
Well, he was a difficult man, you see. He was a bit of a... They weren't quite right for each other in a way. I mean, she was a sweet, demure, little, charming little actress girl. And he was a bit of a man of the world, you know, a bit sort of pushy, shall we say. I had him once got him out of retirement, or semi-retirement, and he turned up, was the only person who ever turned up on a show that I was involved with wearing a monocle.
A monocle?
Yeah. Of course, we didn't ask him about the early days or anything.
He wasn't related to Harry Randall, was he?
You're very good at that sort of thing, aren't you? You're always hoping for a dynasty.
You never know, do you?
No, you don't. It's like this old chap up at the Bectu place. Was insisting for ages that Ernest Dudley must be the son of Bernard Dudley, the old actor. He was quite disappointed. He wouldn't believe me. I said to him, no, he's not. Nothing to do with Bernard Dudley. I said, it's not his real name, Dudley. It's the name of his town he was born in.
He never heard of Bernard Dudley. I mean, I think Bernard Dudley was a good actor, actually. I
don't know that I've seen him, really. I can't remember.
Milk of the Gypsy Queen. He steals it. He plays Wolf.
Where did you see that?
It's in my museum in the archive. I've seen 2 prints of it.
Oh.
There's a lot of prints of that. It's a popular film. I've got more than 1 print of it in the archive.
Really? Fancy that. I think that was a popular film. Failure.
No, it was reissued as well in 1828 with My Romany Lass. So you had 2 titles. And she's very good in it. James Knight's the male actor, Marjorie Villis.
Yeah.
Did you ever interview her at all?
No.
So she was, the Jeffrey Johnson that interviewed her.
Really? I didn't know she'd survived.
He interviewed her in the 60s, I think, when he was doing his Anglo-Hollandia research. And she was obviously involved in one of these Binger films.
Yeah.
And he went to interview her.
That's nice.
And I said to him in the letter, did you tape her? So my writing's very bad.
Yeah.
He went back and said, did you say, did you rape her? And she was in love with Knight.
Oh.
According to what, but he was married, so it didn't lead anywhere. We made quite a few together, the 2 of them did. Martin Thornton was the director, but the only tape that I think about is the Binger connection and the Granger. He didn't ask her about other parts of her career, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is sad. I came across an Anton Dyer film earlier today, Technicolor. Is it Technicolor, or is it multicolour, or is it some strange colour?
An advertising thing, is it?
Yeah, you probably have seen it.
Bush Radio or something?
Yeah, it is Bush Radio. How did you know that?
Because he did the only 2 animated films they made.
Have you seen it?
I I might have done long ago.
System is an interesting system.
Not Insco, is it?
It's called.
Insco colour.
I made a. It was a Klein film demonstration film. That's interesting. The Canora reels. I hadn't seen them before. Interesting knowing that. I don't remember what it was called even. Whoops. Lose that now. Well, this was quite good. King of the Keyboards.
Oh yes.
Arthur Dewey. You've seen that film at all?
Probably not. I remember Arthur Dewey in FT all the time.
Yeah, he's only doing.
Wife.
Oh really?
Yes, he had a sort of 18-year-old wife when he was a 98-year-old man, I think.
This film's called The King with the Terrible Hiccups.
Oh yes, that's
Anson
it.
Dyer.
There's two. There's the Prince of
In Geverchrome. Geverchrome. But also there's a Canora reel here, and one of them has got in it Fred Emney and Harry Grattan. 1900.
That's Fred Emney's father.
Yeah, very early. It's obviously a Mooscope film surviving on one of the flick card things. And they've got Herbert Campbell's Little Bobby as well in the flick card film.
Have they been restored onto film to be shown?
Yes, I think so.
And why don't they show them?
Oh no, I don't know that.
Oh.
There may not be. They've got them. I didn't ask that question. I should do that. But I must. Alex, I found one thing today. Knowing Men. You know Knowing Men, the film, Eleanor Glyn film, 1930.
No, I don't.
It's in your book. She made
Yeah, I
two.
don't know it. I mean, I've
Oh,
seen
right.
the film. I thought that's what you
It
meant.
was never released, it seemed, but there are lots of prints around of it. But there's a song in it called Colette, which I don't know whether Alex knows, and I was going to let him know that. So,
Very little. Did you see my obit for Jean-Claude Forest?
is that the animation there?
No, he was the creator of Barbarella as a comic strip.
I did.
I did a piece in The
I
Independent.
read it, I looked at it, I
Oh.
thought this looks interesting. I never heard of this man before.
No, I'd hardly heard of him. It was a very quick research piece, really. Really writing about sex in the movies and science, mixed up with science fiction, really. An amusing article, shall we say, or a reasonably amusing article. But it was very difficult to do. I had to do it, one of those that I had to do between 9 o'clock and midday.
Amazing.
Including phoning it in.
And had you researched it beforehand?
Never. Do nothing at all about the man.
But how did you do it?
I got a couple of encyclopedias, which I wrote entries for, from the English ones, the World Encyclopedia things. So fortunately there was quite a bit about him there, but of course written in a very encyclopedic way, so I had to turn it all into readable stuff. Make a few rude comments about Paris, the early central pornography, world pornography and all that sort of thing, and girls losing their knickers and things.
I noticed that.
You read the juicy bits?
No, that just caught my eye. Maybe it was the cartoon.
What annoyed me was really that they used this little picture of him. I suppose they should do in a way, but if they'd have used a nice picture of Jane Fonda as Barbarella, in her sexy clothes, it would have attracted some attention.
Were there any other films made of him at all?
Still, it's a world success. It made her a star. That was her first film.
My brother gave me this, and I thought this is quite interesting. An advert. I think it says something to do with shoes or something in India. But I thought it was quite interesting.
Shoes in India.
He bought it. He got it in India. He was surfing out some of his rubbish the other day. I said, I'll have that. I said, that's quite unusual.
Isn't it just?
Yeah, he was advertising a bit of clothing. Now I can't remember whether it was shirts or jackets, but it was something to do with.
It might have been the funny hat.
But I thought it's unusual, and the name as well.
Yeah.
Do you want it?
Not really.
All right.
No.
It looks like Pinky and Perky or whatever.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah.
Could be one of the gods, couldn't it? Don't have a hit with that.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Isn't it just?
Pseudo's Corner.
You could write a little piece about that and send it to somewhere and have it published, you know. Like the Daily Mail's quiz, you know, their reader's page, where they send in queries and problems and puzzles and oddities. You could write a little letter to go with it. They'd be bound to publish it.
Are you doing anything off that oldie magazine you mentioned? You do that once a month, do you?
Yeah, that's about it.
Who are you doing next month?
What am I doing?
Yeah, you normally do
Yeah, I'm up to letter T at the moment.
it's alphabetical.
So the next month will be you, I think.
Would you do a film? How would?
No, it's people's names. It's program names, you see. It's to do with wireless.
What would you do? Uranus or something like that at all? Journey into space?
No. I don't know what I'm going to do for you. U and V will have to be combined, I imagine.
You and McCall, there are. You do that. The radio ballads, there we are. And that's the one like Singing and the Fishing.
Yeah. Where did you used to go for this McCall thing?
When I first went, it was the Bull and Mouth, which is now the Falkland Arms, or the Clever Falkland Arms, near the British Museum. And there.
I used to go to the place in Holborn, a pub, something Louise, Princess Louise.
Before I used to go.
Yeah, it must be, because you'd remember me from that, because I sang there one night on a radio broadcast.
Did you really? What was that?
What did I sing? I'm trying to remember. Maggie May, original version.
And what was the radio broadcast?
The guitar. Well, it was just tonight at the Marie Louise or something. It was a one-off half hour for the BBC Midlands. It's the only time I'd ever tuned my radio into BBC Midlands to hear it. And I've still got that my little bit somewhere on a bit of tape. My first broadcast.
And who else sang apart from you?
Well, Ewan McCall and Bert Lloyd were the main two.
I like Bert Lloyd. He's very good.
He died quite early on, I think.
No, I can remember him. He used to come and he was very ill, and he came even when he was ill.
I know, but
he sang just before he died. You could tell he was ill, and he was still would sing. He sings the sheep. I even remember the sheep show. I've got one of his records. Bert Lloyd. I tell you who I also came. I only saw him once because he went to America. He died soon afterwards. He came back and he died soon afterwards. That was an Irish singer. He's singing Irish. Called Joe. What's his name now? Crying out loud.
It's an unusual name.
Joe somebody.
I tell you who used to be there a lot, which I loved. It was Ramblin' Jack Elliott, who was over here for years, and the fellow who played the banjo with him, another American. I can't remember his name now. Oh dear, what a shame. He used to sing with a voice like down there, you know.
What was that guy with the moustache, was it?
Could have been. They both wore Stetson hats. And Western clothes and jeans. I've got Jack Elliott's LP somewhere. He was great.
And what year would this have been then?
I don't know. 50s, I guess. 50s or 60s.
So you were there in the early days then?
It's pre-skiffle, I would think.
Yeah. Well, this is before the radio ballads came along, then, isn't it? That was afterwards.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, Ballad and Laxton, Singing the Fishing, that was all 60s.
Maybe it was 60s then, I don't know. It seems a long time ago. I used to go on a Sunday night.
I can't imagine you singing. What else is in your repertoire?
What else is what?
In your repertoire?
I don't know. I did a disc jockey programme, my first broadcast, half an hour on the light programme at lunchtime. I used to have different disc jockey every day. from 12 to 12:30, and I wrote in and said, what about me doing a half hour on cartoon music? And I was booked for it and did it.
And what did you do?
I don't know. Cripps House, I mean, records that have been done of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and Popeye and all sorts of things.
They still got it then, probably.
No, of course they don't preserve things like that.
Well, according to this chap, Charles Chilton, about a third of the radio output is preserved.
Well, he's mad in that case. That's wishful thinking. They don't even produce, they don't even record one in a series. There's only 2 out of 200, I think, educating arches. They just threw them away. We've only got 2 or 3 maybe. None of the early ones. None of the important ones with people like Gilbert Harding and people like Tony Hancock. You know. But,
You sure they're not stuck away somewhere down?
no. I used the archive for years from doing my radio series, you see. So I got to learn the archive there.
It wouldn't have gone overseas. They wouldn't have actually sold it overseas, like South Africa, Australia. Some radio firms did get sold to other countries.
I know. That's the odd thing, because things like the Goon Show, Educating Archie and Ipmar and everything all went overseas. But they never came back again.
But there's a chance, therefore, that they're still preserved overseas by somebody.
Well, I think they'd have been found by now, wouldn't you?
No, not if no one's looked for them. People don't always know things are missing, you see, either. I mean, I just mentioned today about Easy Virtue. I knew it was going to be a bad print. I said, I believe they've got a print in the Belgian archive. I've listed their British 35 British features. And they didn't know. Yes, they don't know. What's in other European archives? I took trouble to find out. I mean, I was luckily, there was somebody working there who was friendly and gave me the information.
Yeah.
You know, but when you've got a film like, and they've got other films, British films, which the archive hasn't got. And I told Dave Berry about this World film made in Wales. He only went over to look at it in Belgium, and then he flew over and looked at the film. It was made out in 1918. I can't remember. Was it B&C, one of those feature? Got the title now. But the archive haven't got a print of it.
Yeah.
I'll give actually, although my list has got written on my list, I'll give them a copy of it because obviously I assume they would know things like that.
Yeah, I know. I've always assumed that. Because they've got an interchange, haven't they? International Federation of Archives.
But you see, I mean, I was a bit not annoyed, but you see, they always show Hitchcock's films from The Pleasure Garden and The Lodger, Downhill. They forget about his films he made earlier. Always Tell Your Wife. Seymour Hicks, half of that survives. Never gets shown.
No.
They've got 3 features that Katz made that he was assistant director on. According to his autobiography, Katz used to go. Katz went off half the time, womanising or drinking, and that he actually did do some of the filming himself. Thank you. But they've got one of them I've seen. It's a German version. Probably that's why it survived. It's come over from Germany. And that one I saw last year, I think, year before last now, at the MFT. Not a great film. Even so. But the other 2, The Cruise Fault and Passionate Adventure, they've got them, but they're not on safety, they're only on nitrate. Well, they should be.
It's that man again.
You're not wasting.
You're out of focus, David.
I know I am.
Video balmy, this boy.
Well, you've got a new tie.
Yeah. What he does it for, I don't know. It's beyond me.
It's like local history. It's like not oral history. I mean, you know.
What about all the noise that's going on here? I can hardly hear myself talk. I mean, what's it going to come out on that like?
Don't know.
Quite.
I've had a few bits played back on the TV, and it actually comes out quite well.
Oh, hello. Could I have a hot chocolate?
Anyway, tell me what you've been saying to the
Produce. Oh, just all the sort of telling about little bits of film that have come my way recently, and they're talking about old movies and the rest of it. You know, nothing very. What's the name?
No swaps.
They ran a couple of Bugs Bunny this morning because the Warners are reissuing a feature, Is It to Have and Have Not, and they're showing a couple of Bugs Bunnies they're reissuing with it. One of them's Call to Arms. I don't know what the other one
You've
is.
seen those? There's two huge, expensive books come out on American cartoons. One on Hanna-Barbera, the complete huge book with very, very thick, heavy cardboard covers, which include an original cell within the book, in the cover. They're 50 quid each, these books.
Well, the cells, of course,
They're not
in
really.
films today
Yeah.
for some unknown reason.
They're both available over here. I've seen them at 3 different prices actually, so I'm going to wait till the weekend to see which one I get. I've seen them at £39.50, £45 and £50. So the £39.50 has it at the moment.
I've got a Warner book on the cartoons. Have you got that
Is that
one?
the same one?
The one that gives you every plot of every
Oh,
cartoon.
that one. Yeah, but these are all full colour.
Yeah, well, these are just the plots, but that's what I wanted because checking them up, which
Even
I...
that hasn't had a British edition. It's not had a British edition, has it?
No.
McFarlane brought out 2 books which they sent me copies of to review, but they're so worthless. Both on American cartoons. One on supposed to be a complete A to Z of cartoons. And there's about 3 Phoenix the Cat films, so when you think there's over 150 made, what's the value of a book pretending to be a serious, catalogue? Terrible they are. And the other one's just as bad. It's different style, but it's worthless. It's got old television cartoons and things all mixed up with it, so...
Or one of my sons for Christmas got a tape of 1940s British Technicolor cartoons by your friend, Mr. Hand.
David Hand? Yes, there is a tape out.
Animal something it's called?
Animal Land.
Animal Land.
Yeah, it's available over
They
here.
seem to like it.
They're quite nice. I think they're all right for kids brought up on television cartoons.
It's very American-y. Although some of the voices are English, some of the voices are American-y.
Shouldn't be, unless they've been redubbed. There are no American voices in
They
them.
have been redone. On the back of it, it does say.
They've probably redone them for America, you see, because they were never shown in America. They're now done by...
Carlton have issued them.
Very probably. Because they bought it with the Rank Empire, you see.
Carlton and Rank, don't they now? Yeah.
His son, David Hand Jr., was in correspondence with me for quite a while trying to get stuff together for reissuing these things in America. And so he probably got them all eventually, but he said he was having a lot of trouble with Channel 4, who owned them at one time. But they still show them occasionally on Channel 4. But when they started on Channel 4, they were very bad prints. But they got good prints in the end.
Have you got the Betty Boop cartoons that Ken Mays said was being issued on video? I don't know how many there are.
I don't know if this is a new collection, is it?
I don't know. All I can tell you is a few weeks ago when I went with Jeff Lingney, he's left now, but he's gone down to Sussex, but he showed a 951 and he said he was going to flog all the 951s and buy the video.
Well, it ought to be very careful because they were all redrawn and recoloured, you see.
Oh, I know the recoloured ones, yes.
Yeah.
I thought this might be the...
In America they've done the originals, of course, because they're very like that, you can get all the Disney black and whites in America,
Can you?
which you can't get here.
No.
But they were done on video disc, complete with, background information and stuff.
Yeah.
Very expensive, but there were 3 video discs of black and white and Silly Symphonies, which were never issued
Ken Mays has got quite a lot. I've got a few of them. I've got one that I always thought was Mickey's party or something, but it's it's a very strange title. No, the Errand Boy or some title like that. And it's a little party out in the woods and that, and Minnie says to Mickey, I'll play with you if you coax me a little bit, and they play a little piano duet, and Pluto comes on, he grabs hold of the dynamite, TNT, and he blows the whole lot up. So, the Errand Boy.
The Errand Boy, yeah. Well, a lot of the early ones were musicals.
There is.
No jokes and no story.
I've got the one I've got 2 copies, but one's a full copy of a train one, Mickey's Choo Choo.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've seen that.
But Ken Mays, I don't know if he's kept them all, he had a lot of them. Black and white. The black and whites are so fresh and interesting.
Yes, I know, yeah.
I don't go greatly for the skeleton dance in the very first one. The first one. But some of the others are so good. Somebody showed me last summer a trailer for The Lion King. And by God, the animation was so dreadful.
I haven't seen the Disney feature.
We got Lion King, we like that. I mean, I think Lion King's quite a good film, yeah.
Well, you like a lot of odd things.
But the music...
You're Mr. Oldbot, you are.
But the music is good, Dennis,
Yeah?
on The Lion King.
That doesn't make it a good cartoon, the music.
The drawing, I thought, was abominable.
Really?
In the trailer,
I've only seen trailers on television and I won't go to see the film. Not interested at all.
Well,
You know, I mean, after about, I don't know, after when? Fantasia's from, Pinocchio, Dumbo, that's about it really.
the Aristocats.
It mentions in here.
Yeah, I don't like anything that's full of humans, you see. I don't see any point in making these films that are full of human beings.
No, well, of course, Snow White, if you can say that, humans as well as...
Well, some dwarfs aren't really humans, they're not really dwarfs, are they? They're little creatures. Yeah, but I mean, they're fantasy fairyland people.
I love Fun and Fancy Free.
Yeah, it's not bad.
In the NFT program, did you see they've got on some children's films?
Yeah. Did you know that
one of them-
they were running a Popeye show tonight? No. NFT?
Yeah.
And then next week or week after, they've got Pathé cartoons made in England
Yeah.
from the 20s.
I haven't really studied the January or February, but the governor fellow was there on Monday and he told me that they're showing some rare Columbias in March.
Columbia.
Yeah, I don't know if they're censored versions or they're rare.
Yeah, they are.
Censored? Why should they be censored?
Well, I don't know.
Sherlock Holmes and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, it's great title. It's a German children's film. Sherlock Holmes and the Seven Dwarfs.
I'll tell you what I've got.
Great
No, I
title.
don't think it's so terribly good. No, it's very, very lovely condition. A film called Sherlock Holmes. So I think it's a Felix. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Sherlock.
Sherlock. Surellockede. It's one of those I feel if plot's too involved for it to have good if you know what I mean. But it's interesting. Beautiful.
Felix?
I think it's
6
Felix.
or 7 minutes. I can't see what you it's too complicated a plot for a cartoon film. The trouble is, I can't watch any of these modern ones that television is so full of, from dawn till dusk, and all through the night.
Do you like Pingu at all?
Only one I
That's a
like is
different
Bugs
matter.
Bunny.
Yeah, I'm talking about made-for-television things that are on, like, the Cartoon Network and all those things, and Fox Kids.
Yeah.
The crudeness of the drawing, you know. Very well animated, though, now. I mean, when you think how awful the Hanna-Barberas were for 20 years, now they're fully animated. Much better. They're edited. Funny voices, but they're all too fast and too zany and not funny. I suppose you can't make that many jokes up, can you, to fill 24 hours a day of cartoons? Can't be that
Suppose
many.
they just pull in a rag joke of everything they can.
Yeah. Well, it's very worrying to me about what's going to happen to children who get soaked up in this stuff too early.
difficult.
They're never going to be patient. See, if they learn to cope with very fast movement and American gags, they're never going to accept British style.
I have trouble with them. Daddy's one of his films on now. Not one of those black and white films. Boring.
Oh dear.
But occasionally, I had one on the other day. Aaron was off on Monday because he didn't start school on Tuesday, and there was that film on in the afternoon, Captive Heart.
Oh yeah.
And it looked quite interesting. The beginning was interesting. Anyway, it's set in Italy. The first half hour was very good. It got a little bit after that. It got a little bit monotonous after half an hour. But he quite liked it actually. Was sitting watching it. He's 11 or 12 now.
Oh well, that's a good age for a serious film.
Well, I mean, I can remember when he was 3, he sat through Jack Tatty film, the one about traffic. He's been to a few films.
Yeah, but that's a comedy with gags. Visual gags all the way through.
Yeah, but not when you're 3, you wouldn't understand visual gags when you're 3. But the point is, normally they would be watching American rubbish, as I would call it. Those soaps or those things like Cheers or those Australian rubbish that he likes to watch as well.
The trouble with all that sort of thing with young people is that it's the future that it affects. If it gives them a taste for, I don't know, sitcoms, American-style sitcoms with a lot of black people coming in and out and all this sort of thing. That's how they're going to grow up, with that sense of humour that thinks that's funny, you see. And they will never have known the sort of, well, Tony Hancock's, for example, haven't grown up with Tony Hancock, haven't grown up with Morecambe and Wise. Now, do you see they started running black and white Morecambe and Wise the night before? There's 2 been on, ATV, and they're 1962, they're the earliest comedies they've ever rerun, and they're complete and perfect. Because I've got 4 or 5 videos that they put out of that stuff on ATV.
The bit last time looked very good, what I saw.
But they're very cheap, very simple. You know, they haven't yet got to production values, you see, and you have to be aware of things like that.
Well, what my kids do like, funny enough, is Dad's Army. They find that a hoot.
Well, it's perfectly good.
They really like that.
And that's British, so that's good, you see, because it's not Americanised in any way.
No.
It's British.
And they also like Steptoe. We don't get to see it very often. It's after 9 o'clock. But,
Probably just as well, because I think a bit too much Steptoe. I think, you've got a bit.
I did a comparison between As Long As They're Happy and Quiet Wedding, because As Long As They're Happy came on the box and I taped it, and then Ron showed it, and I went again, although I'd seen it just to be with the audience and laughing and that. But I do prefer the earlier. The earlier one's more gentle. It's interesting to see where Roy Bolton cut out bits of the dialogue and added little bits in. But there's more tenderness in the first one. Anthony Asquith directed. Have you seen the first one? Margaret Lockwood and Derek Farr. And one thing that stood out was Bernard Miles as the policeman was so superior to Terry Thomas.
Oh,
I
yes,
think
quite good.
Terry Thomas was miscast. He just played it dead flat. And I know you knew the dialogue that was coming, but it just wasn't funny in any shape or form.
I didn't like any of those remakes. There was a period when they kept remaking those early things, didn't they? You know, Quiet Wedding and thing, and that wonderful one with Alistair Sim as the shoplifter having to steal something from when that was remade, it was rubbish, the remake.
Well, As Long As They're Happy wasn't bad. And Cecil Parker was very good.
Yeah.
And there were good things in it, but it wasn't as good as the original.
Such a strange thing to do, this remaking of great successes, isn't it?
Well,
So many now keep remaking Hitchcock films all the time, don't they?
Yeah. But it's always gone on, remaking right from the earliest time of cinema's gone on. When they run out of ideas, they go to novels and plays. The stuff's always been remade, really, if you think about
Not
it.
great movies.
Especially if it's been popular, it's been remade.
39 Steps, of course, have done it about 6
Yeah, but
Three
I
times.
think it's unforgivable, and a company like Walt Disney, that's one of the biggest in the world, what the hell are they remaking films that they're showing on the Disney Channel or on the commercial channels on video all the time, and yet they make them again?
Well, they probably run out of ideas.
You can't run out of ideas in a world this big.
No, they have.
Depends on the creative people they employ, in many ways, isn't it?
Yeah, but they shouldn't come to that. It should never come to that.
Well, if you listen to BBC Radio, I mean, some of the terrible jokes they're talking now on radio. I mean, I was listening because I was just busy in the kitchen and didn't switch it off, but it went on and on, whole several programmes, you know, sort of jokes knocking Clinton and knocking our Prime Minister and knocking everybody, and using terrible language.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Radio 4, I thought, well, they've really gone down the drain now, trying to imitate Classic FM or the other stations.
There's been a very nice little thing running over Christmas on Radio 3 called Cocktails. Did you hear that?
I heard about it.
I listen to some of it.
Every night, yeah. So it's quite pleasant, isn't it?
Well, I've been listening to the Gaiety thing as well. Have you listened
No,
to
I
that
missed
at all?
that. When was that on?
Neil Brand's been doing the music to that. Neil Brand.
Oh, yeah.
He done the music to that. Just like last night, he did the music to a program on television last night on India. Going around, he did the music to that. I saw it at the end. And also today, I missed it. I left, but Maureen Lipman's been doing the Joyce Grenfell.
Yeah, I saw that was on, but I think they might be repeats. I've heard a lot of them.
They are repeats, but they're still very good.
Oh, she's very clever. I listened to a thing or watched a thing on telly last night that a friend in Liverpool wants to take back. It's called Christmas in Vienna, and I'll never be amazed till I die how they got one of the singers on. Two were very good, Placido Domingo, and they got a lady whose name I forget, but she was in the film The Madam Butterfly. But the other man, I think he must have been a pop singer, and his name is the same name as a very, very famous English producer. So you'll guess what that is. Not director, but producer. Made, you know, he made loads and loads of films. But he was terrible, really terrible. I mean, at his worst he was terrible, and worse than that, and his name was Michael Balkan.
What?
Yeah, well, he wasn't anything to do with the, here's a sort of, but how Domingo or the Viennese or anyone, they had a children's choir singing very nicely as well. This girl who was in the Madam Butterflies, and I mean, whatever he does, Domingo's an artist and sings, but this chap was awful. I noticed they cut him down as much as they could, but as he was one of Domingo's, they couldn't have him do nothing. I mean, to hear him sing, "Oh, come all ye faithful," and "White Christmas," and God knows what else.
Did you find that it was that Welsh film company before
I
it came out?
didn't find it. No, I'll keep looking.
Was it the Sheriff's Fractured Joys or something like that? Is it?
No.
Sheriff of Ebervale.
The Sheriff at Ebbvale, 1912. The company, Bob managed to read it, and I wrote it down. I don't think I've got it on any of the bits. I haven't got many bits of paper with me.
You always have bits of paper with you.
I do always have a few. I had a nice letter from the lady in Italy who I sent some tapes to. I couldn't read it. Although she's written it very well. It's very good English for an Italian. But I don't think I have. I'll give you a thing.
What 9.5 did Ron show on Saturday then?
They were actually, Tony Fletcher projected, they were all home movies. With my limited vision, I didn't get a great deal from them. But I
Tony's own home movies, Tony Stafford's own home movies, or Ronald's own home movies? Were they Tony's home movies or Ronald's home movies?
They were Tony's. But I don't think they were his own family in that. They were just 9.5 home movie clips he'd collected.
Well, his father did have a camera.
Oh, did he? Well, they may have been.
His father was a film collector, that's where we got the film started off.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What I did feel, Tony, was that although my eyes wouldn't give it justice, Ron admitted that it would be better not blown up so big. But I think it's very good. He's made a marvellous job on the projector. If my eyes were okay, I would have enjoyed it. But the 16mm Walter Ford one, as I say, some people said it's not a very good film anyway. They're not very funny, but they were laughing at the subtitles.
What do you think of the Delvey film then, My Song for You, and Janky Pura and Sunny Hale? Emlyn Williams is in it, I see, and Gina Marlowe, good cast. What were the songs like in it?
Well, The operatic, I don't like him, I'll be honest, as a singer now. I used to like him in this main film, Tell Me Tonight. I've got a trailer for that in the archive. But he's too strident, a very hard voice, a very coarse voice, I think. So that was one minus. I like the girl who's in it. She died young.
Eileen Marson?
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
She's in a film I've got called 10 Minute Alibi, which the archive don't have.
Does she sing?
No.
Does Sonny Hale sing?
No, he just does a bit of comic. He tries terribly hard, Sonny Hale, to make bricks without straw. It's a very, very corny story. The most interesting bits were that they'd left in a lot from the German feature. It started off with a sort of yachting party, then there's a big party in the swimming bars, and it was all from the German print. And they explained there some way that the GB people realised that they could make their sort of second features look a bit more posh things by, improving.
And was in a lot of their films. So was Pimple.
Who?
Pimple.
Oh, right, Fred Evans.
Fred Evans and Joe Evans were both in and out of Gainsborough and Gilmore films. They were in Cecily Courtney's films, they told me, and things like that.
Why did Hay Plum stop directing though? He's making all these films for Hepworth up to 1914. Why did he stop directing?
He didn't have a talent for that sort of thing, really.
Wasn't the war?
Just the general close down of short films. Just disappears until the 30s when he comes back as a small part of that. Very sweet man. He's in ever so many films. Keep spotting him. I spotted him on a Wednesday afternoon more than once. For the first time. His films.
He obviously was very good at making shots. He had a talent for them. It's just sad that he disappeared.
Well, all that sort of thing vanished, you see, didn't it?
Well, feature Hepworth made Trimble made them in Hedward.
Yeah, but after World War I, there's very few two-reelers being made. What are being made are very much catchpenny things made by people to try and...
What happened to Harry Bass? He seemed to have made all the Vivaphone films.
How can I know that?
What?
I'm not a Marvel.
I thought you may in your research have found that out.
No. When people vanish off the face of the earth around 1916, there's not much chance that somebody in 1966 is going to find where they went. I'm not Janice. She'd find out.
Yes, I was after her.
She's got all the life to do it.
Well, it's been doing it for 10 years as well. Again, if you research one topic and keep to it,
yeah, because you can't do it.
You do so many different things. Although
doing the entire history of British cinema, you can't spend time.
Yeah.
So I spend an awful lot of time doing silent.
And you do other things as well. I mean, I often wonder how you keep up with it.
I used to work 3 days a week and work on my catalogue 3 or 4 days a week. You see.
John Gould rang me and he said he's very pleased as he's getting some of this Felix, what's his name, Mendelssohn from Pathé, and videos. But he said, I've told they made some films for Empire Pictures, but Tony put me right, he said he means Butcher's Empire. And that was the one they did with Webster Booth, wasn't the one? Didn't they make one with Webster Booth in it, Helpmates or Shipmates, in the Midlands?
Oh, one of those Shipmates?
Yeah. Or if not Shipmates. Yeah, no, I don't think it was more
They did a musical.
Yeah, more a comedy with music in it,
Yeah.
They were in it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I don't think they made many films.
No, they didn't. He wasn't a Hawaiian Serenader then.
No.
Didn't do that till the war years.
Yeah, I see. I suppose they may have just had
Just a dance band.
Yeah, some sort of group.
Yeah. That was the weirdest strip ever published in Radio Fun. The Adventures of Felix Mendelssohn and his Hawaiian Serenaders. It was on the back page. It was a serial about this band getting shipwrecked on a desert island or something, having adventures. Can you imagine anything more difficult? Can you imagine an editor ringing you up and saying, I've got this great idea for a strip. How about the Adventures of Felix Mendelssohn? So what I serenaded, it was bad enough when they used to have the Tudor Clark radio's Merry Mimic. And I don't remember her ever doing impersonations, but she was billed as an impersonator in Radio Fun. I often meant to ask her about it, if I ever see her. There's a documentary about her, Christmas I think it was. It was 60 minutes.
I didn't see it, no, did you?
Quite nice.
I was
She's so
told her
beautiful.
father was very tough with her in the early days,
sure.
you know, and exploited her.
Very worrying, actually. You know, 'cause
Have you ever seen that little Christmas trailer I've got? Tudor Clark sings Silent Night, Holy Night.
I don't know. I think you did show it to us, maybe.
It's been possibly
classified.
been shown on the box. We may have lent it to them with a Christmas trailer.
Yeah, they did a very good program on the radio about the history of radio Christmases over Christmas, which I heard some of and then fell asleep, unfortunately. In fact, I'm going to fall asleep now if I don't go home.
Anything on tonight that you want to watch on TV? Classic Gold, is watch that to you?
No, I'll tape it and watch it tomorrow. I'm watching this wonderful series called Joker's Wild, which has just lost Arthur Askey, who was one of the heroes, one of the chairmen of one of the panels. He vanished, so I rather suspect he might have had his illness, because it's about 1972, I think, this series. And then they've lost Ted Ray, who was the captain of the other panel, and they've now got... Who's the two captains now? Let's
do a list of things.
the chairman's vanished too last night, who was, I forgot his name, the scriptwriter, comedy scriptwriter. And they had one with glasses, who does a lot of, still writing comedy all the time. In fact, he's just brought out his autobiography.
John Junkin.
Someone who's still working, John Junkin's been out of work for 5 years, like me. They had Michael Bentine, chairman, last night. He was absolutely hopeless. He was as hopeless on it as he was on my series, Quick on the Draw. He was very bad. He can't remember what to say. The simple things he can't remember. He couldn't remember to give a single score in the whole of this half-hour quiz programme. He never gave a score, which is supposed to be after every round. Well, 5 for you, that makes so-and-so. And he just couldn't remember.
He would have been good on Just a Minute, wouldn't it? That's the sort of thing he probably would have been good at doing.
I don't know.
You have to worry about the scores to the end of the programme.
Yeah.
And they'll probably make them up anyway. No one ever queries the score. I got more points than that.
Yeah. But the other extraordinary thing I would never believe possible, when he was the chairman of my Quick on the Draw show, once, Spike Milligan was on the panel, and we knew immediately why these two hated each other, because as soon as Spike started to give the question to draw something, Mike Bentine pulled a pistol out of his pocket and fired it. And said, nobody, it's the old joke, nobody sleeps when I'm on. Milligan was so stunned by it, he virtually got up to walk off the show, and he had to be persuaded to stay on the show. So if he was like that, if the relationship of the two were like that in the 70s, what were they like in the 50s on the radio?
Maybe you're right, maybe Bentine left, didn't he? There may have been...
But last night, on this repeat of Joker's Wild, he pulled the pistol out of his pocket and shot it in the air. Gave everybody the jumps. And it obviously wasn't expected on either occasion by the producer, because I know my producer wasn't expecting him to do it, but what a stupid, wild thing to do, I mean, you must know and
That's called
understand.
Joker's Wild, I suppose. They do wild things.
Well, you're making a good excuse there.
But also, it sounded like it was Tommy Cooper with all his hats. In the programme, they said how somebody went along with him, and he went to all these trick shops, buy tricks, and also used to buy all these funny hats, and he used the hats. He copied the tree. They showed a bit of the tree film. He copied the tree film of putting a hat on your head and making different hats with one bit of hat.
Oh, yeah.
And he also had the gag where he actually did a poem, and he put on different hats all the time. And they did that as well.
Do you know where I think he stole that idea from? I don't know whether it's possible. The gentleman who came over with Louis Lumiere in 1895.
Truey, as I said.
Truey,
yeah. They showed a bit of the
Oh,
Truey
you were
film,
saying
innit?
that? Oh, did they?
Yep.
All right, that's one. I
The
haven't
hat
seen
film.
that.
Yep.
Oh, I must have missed that programme. Because I've seen at least 3 different programmes.
And they more or less showed when he died. They just stopped before he died.
Oh, did they?
They did the live.
Was it a different show than one I saw?
Oh, really?
I saw him die.
An hour and a half, this was. And Tarbuck was behind, talking, he was behind there with him, putting the stuff through the curtain to him. And there was a ladder at the end.
If that was a
And
full
he
version.
went down, and then they cut, because it means after that he collapsed.
Yeah, it was at the end, just before the commercial break, because they faded the programme out and put the commercials on.
Yeah, but
And I saw it
oh,
at the
right.
time.
Yeah, my brother Pat said he'd seen it as well. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I think I remember him coming in
You
and telling.
didn't know from the camera point of view. I mean, you saw something happening. You didn't-
Well, he said the audience were laughing, I thought it was part of the game.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Everybody thought. We thought they'd faded off before the game.
But it appears his wife was funny.
Trailer's better than the film. I mean, there's some nice sort of
I
dialogue in the trailer.
like period films and historic reconstructions and things. I really don't bother. Like I didn't watch that one this morning.
No.
Did you see it, this big Applecast film?
No, I didn't notice it was on. It was
A big Technicolor film.
probably a late one then.
Yes.
What was it called?
Picture. You told me about it, didn't you?
The Gants.
Mabel Gance, yeah.
They had Gary Cooper on the other side as
Nearly
well.
watched it for Claudia Cardinale. I've got the Gary Cooper, that's a very nice film.
I did think it was. Yeah.
See you about. I'll be in there tomorrow morning.
Oh, I won't, probably.
Thanks very much.
I might be, you never know.
See you next week? No. Not next week. No, that's okay. Yeah, okay. Well, see you soon, Dennis.
Bye-bye. Cheerio.
I don't know why you're taking me. I'm not afraid to take. You both promised to come and do films, but won't that be good enough to make, telecine videos?
I don't know, you could try and see.
It'd be worth trying, yeah. And it's
I
on my
don't have a tripod. I'd have to buy a tripod, wouldn't I?
yeah.